We are at Denver International Airport, one of the busiest airports in the world. And today we're going to go behind the wings of CATS, the Canine Airport Therapy Squad. It's mostly about dogs. You'll see what I mean. The CATS, or Canine Airport Therapy Squad, represents more than 40 breeds. We're going to meet their pet parents and the stars of the show themselves to see how these animals help travelers navigate the stress of flying. This one's going to be cute. I mean cool. All right, never mind. Come on. Denver is one of the busiest airports in the country. How would you kind of describe Denver International Airport?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. We are one of the busiest airports in the country and one of the top 10 busiest airports in the world. So as you can imagine, there's just so much going on, and especially with construction and all our projects that we're doing. So yes, it's very busy.
Only 6.5% of the population has aviophobia, or the fear of flying. But according to some studies, up to a quarter of all passengers have some anxiety when it comes to flying. But like most phobias, the actual fear outweighs the risk. So to learn more about the risks of flying, we talked with Wings Over the Rockies curator, Chuck Stout. It's much more dangerous getting in your car, getting killed by a ladder, getting food poisoning, or even drowning in your own bathtub. So Chuck, help us understand, how dangerous is it flying in a commercial airplane?
Commercial airline flying in the United States is incredibly safe. The scheduled airlines in the United States can go entire years without a single fatal accident.
Aviation is one of the most scrutinized industries when it comes to safety. How does that work?
All of aviation in the United States is very carefully regulated by the FAA. And that means that all airplanes that are registered in the United States are thoroughly inspected frequently, and they maintain strict standards of maintenance. Likewise, all pilots are thoroughly trained, and their knowledge and skills are periodically rechecked and refreshed to keep them up to date.
Plane safety has been improving for decades. Where is this going?
Flying today is safer than it's ever been at any time in history, and it continues to get safer.
For many, the statistics aren't enough to get rid of the anxiety. To help ease the stress, this is where the CATS come in. Right here at Denver International Airport is the biggest animal therapy program in the country. Why is travel stressful for people?
We never know the reason someone is traveling, right? They could be traveling for fun, they could be traveling for business, or they could be traveling for something tragic. That's kind of one of the biggest reasons we started the program, and we just wanted to provide some sort of, ease and little moment of peace and comfort while people are traveling. It's almost just like that. All the worry that they had just like flows out of them, and they're like, oh my gosh, and they kind of just like collapse and hug this animal that's just there for that reason. So it's really heartwarming to see. It really varies, from kids to adults to people with disabilities. Everyone can be affected in a positive way.
In some ways, it's just as simple as like you see a tail wagging and it makes you happy. I mean, how do you feel when you see these therapy animals?
I feel so happy. It's just incredible. Also, the fact that they're here as volunteers, they don't get paid to come out here. It means that they're really here from the goodness of their heart, and because they want to be here and they want to help passengers ease the stress while traveling.
About 1 in 4 of these people are stressed. Imagine that. That's a lot of stress. Good thing the dogs are here to chill them out. Oh, he's doing such a good job. Oh. Billy, you're one of the volunteers with CATS, and this is Fender. I'm wondering, could you tell me a bit about your role with the CATS program?
Billy Smith, and I am a volunteer here at the airport. Therapy dogs are everywhere now, but I sure never thought that they'd ever be in an airport. Their job in coming out here is to do stress relief.
This is Maverick. He's here for petting.
We usually do a 2-hour shift. They really do a great job for stress relief because they detract from all of the anxiety that's going on, in that person's mind about having to get on the airplane. I have had several people that have come over and said, oh, just let me pet your dog for a little while because I have to go on the plane pretty soon, It's amazing to see the smiles, even on the people's faces who aren't petting the dogs.
Yeah.
Not that we can see them right now with the mask, but we.
We're making our way through the airport. These dogs are really the star of the show. We're getting stopped like every 10 feet. Each one is cuter than the last. No wonder these animals can make such a big difference for travelers that are stressed out.
When we heard about the opportunity to do therapy here, we were really excited. Airports can be stressful, we know. Flying can be stressful, and I've had some amazing experiences here with Samson. Just very recently, we met a new mother. She had her brand new little baby, and it was the first time she was flying. And she was alone, and she just broke down when she saw Samson, just tears, and was just so comforted by seeing Samson. She's like, oh, this is just warming my heart, and you know, I'm nervous, I'm scared, but it helped her. So things like that. Research shows that it does lower blood pressure, it boosts the immune system to have an animal or to pet an animal, to pet a dog.
Hello, you handsome boy.
And he's just gonna attach himself to you.
What do you love about it that keeps you coming back?
The world is hard. It's a hard place, right? So being able to bring just little lights into people's lives.
I'm not even flying, and even walking in, I was
Right,
like
you're
getting
like
stressed
anxiety.
out.
Oh my God, yeah, totally.
Well, Lisa, thank you
Yeah,
for
of
sharing,
course.
and thank you for letting me pet Samson.
Yeah, you bet.
So we left the concourse and headed underground, where tunnels connect to the terminals. This is where I had to ask the big questions. So are there aliens down here?
I cannot speak on that. I plead the fifth.
Maybe there are aliens, but this video isn't about that, so we sat down with volunteer program manager Carla Vaughn to learn more about how the CATS program started and the impact it's having today. Therapy animals have been around for a long time, but how did they really get started in airports and even right here at Den?
So CATS started in 2015 after the airport in LAX. So in LA launched their program, and we saw the success of that, and we wanted to jump on that success but make it better. So we started in 2015 with 23 therapy dogs, and we grew to over 120 pre-pandemic. So we were the largest program in the nation before COVID-19 hit.
Some people have a real fear of flying. For others, it makes them anxious. What makes people anxious to fly?
It could be kids in tow, a mom who's traveling with 2 younger children all by herself, and having a therapy animal there to help escort them to the gate, keep them focused on their mission to make it to the gate.
Hello, hello.
All of the emotions that they're feeling while at the airport, an animal just takes that moment away, gives you a break from what you're experiencing in that emotion, and just enjoy it.
So we're not using Prozac or some other medication. In this case, it's actually animals, mostly dogs, that are improving people's flying experience and helping them work through their anxiety. How does that work?
There are substantial studies that have been done on the interactions of therapy animals or just pets in general with people. Release of serotonin, right? Your happy hormones, those get released. Just the art of petting has been shown to relieve your stress.
So we've seen an increase of animal therapy programs in airports around the US and even the world. Where do you see this going?
I think it's just growing into more. It's how do we make bigger programs? How do we do it at all types of airports, whether we are an international airport or a smaller domestic airport? If we make one person's day better by interacting with a therapy animal, then we've reached our goal. One wag at a time.
Whether people have a serious fear of flying or just some anxiety about getting on a plane, they're on their way to the gate, but they take a minute to pause, pet the dog, get a wag of the tail. If you're lucky, a lick on the face. Next time I'm at the airport, I'm gonna be looking for one of these dogs. That was so cool meeting all the dogs and one cat at Denver International Airport. You've made it to the end of the video, so if you subscribe, thank you so much. And if you don't subscribe, just subscribe already. All right, I've got to get out of here. I've got some more dogs to pet. I'll see you later.